There we go, buddy. Here we are again. Oh, let me switch my good thinking. I got to switch my audio over to the headphones. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Bow Wow Bill live stream. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now. I have with me Jonas Black. How you doing, Jonas?
I'm living the dream. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. We're going to be talking about the Canine Conference that's coming up here, and we'll be posting up a link. And we still you still have spots available?
Yes, we have limited spots available, but spots are available and they're selling. We're expecting a big ticket rush here right before we go live. But it's been a labor of love, man. Like I'm trying to raise the standard of this type of event in the industry with this. Like a lot of people, like, they've asked me, is it a Zoom call? And it's like, no. No, like what this is we hired a company to build out a venue for us, like a virtual venue. And we have an MC. We have Mariano from the Dog Trainers podcast coming to give everybody introductions and things like that. And just like everything getting really hyped up and like everything being done to a standard that hasn't been done yet in the dog training world. And on top of it, like, man, I like music a lot. And I modeled this after a music festival, right? I was sitting, and this is just the truth of how this whole thing came about. I was sitting at the bar and I was enjoying some tequila, and I saw a music flyer for ACL, right, for Austin City Limits, and like I was like, man, that's really cool. Imagine if there was a flyer like that and a festival like that with dog trainers on it, like that would pop. And then I was like, why don't I do it? So like I took a shot of tequila and I texted my favorite dog trainers and all of a sudden, dude, everybody just started like responding and was like, yeah, dude, I'll do this. This is a great idea. And I was like, man, that's kind of cool. And so now all of a sudden, I mean, this really is, if it comes to a conference setting, it's the best lineup that's ever been put together. Like it's unreal. Like, and it's really humbling to be able to put something like this together, and glory to God, all day.
Glory to God. Amen, man. What prompted you? Was there a certain criteria that the people that you reached out to be presenters in the conference? What prompted you to reach out to each individual? Because there is a whole, I mean, worldwide, you got trainers from all over the world, and you got trainers from all different disciplines. I mean, we all love and work with dogs. So we bring that passion forward, I would assume is one of the criteria. What else did you think about when you called upon these people?
Every single person I've learned from. So it's the way that I did it, because I'm a fan of dog training. I'm not just a practitioner or like a platform. Like I love dog training. And so I wanted to put together selfishly the conference that I would want to go to, right? And so my plan wasn't even to present. I didn't even want to present, right? I was like, I'm just going to show up, open the conference, and I'm going to sit back and learn for 2 weekends,
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, no, you need to be presenting. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. But it was so many people that I've learned from and so many people that I've looked up to throughout my career, and like really seeing everybody come together on one big bill. It lets me be a fan. And like I approached it from a fan's perspective, from a consumer perspective, as opposed to like Jonas Black, the dog trainer's perspective. I approached it from a more humble perspective, which is, who do I want to learn from?
Yeah, the same thing that I did with these live streams, selfishly.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to talk to people and learn from them, and I've gleaned so much knowledge and gained so many friendships from doing these live streams where I just heart to heart, no editing. Let's talk about this. And it stemmed from actually a conference that I would go to at the ICP conference, where we would all meet together. And I was like, man, so if somebody watched how we sit here and talk, we don't need to, there's that saying that if you get 3 dog trainers in a room, the only thing that 2 of them will agree on is that the third one is wrong.
Sure.
Right. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way, man. Like
Correct.
There's a lot of egos in this industry, but at the end of the day, we're in this for the benefit and the betterment of the dogs and the quality of life that we provide for these wonderful creatures. Right.
Absolutely.
And so there's a way that we can come in harmony together. There's a way that we can cooperate and not necessarily have to always compete and keep our guard up, right?
So this is something that's like that I've really tried to push here, and it's that so for a lot of the bigger platforms, like they were like, yo, like you know, you don't have to pay me, and I was like, no, like I want to change that standard for so like the platforms that are getting paid, like the smaller platforms are getting the exposure to be on the bill with these guys, right? And that's going to be huge for them. And but like I was like, dude, no one's working for free for me, man. Like and that's one of those things I think where as dog trainers we start to have kind of an issue sometimes where we don't believe that we are supposed to make money doing this. And we are supposed to make money doing this. This is a very hard profession, and it's a craft. And I want to change the standard of this. Hey, I'll do you a favor, you do me a favor. No, let's have everybody do each other a solid and treat each other as professionals and consummate professionals, and understand that those of us who bring a lot of value, draw power, all those things, you deserve to be paid for your time. And I'm really proud of that. Like I'm really proud of that, because I can't tell you how many things I've done for free where I feel where I feel afterwards, well, I guess like somebody else made money, right? And I would never want anybody to feel that way doing a project with me. We want everybody to win. And I feel like right now, like even with the sponsors that we've gotten, right? Like we've gotten a few sponsors, all that sponsorship money is going to a wolf dog sanctuary. So it's I'm trying, like I'm going to make money on it. There's no doubt about it. I'll be very transparent on that. But at the end of the day, it's about everybody winning for me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making money.
No.
And dude, we spend money to learn, right? We go to these conferences, we go and have mentors and shadow other trainers. And that costs money, that costs time, which wouldn't take away from your business. You're not making that money if you're going to be there. And so it takes that sacrifice. It reminds me of, there's a book called The 48 Laws of Power, where it talks about charging money and charging what you're worth, and the concept of paying money is essentially tied to the idea that it has worth, and it is worth paying money for, right? And I remember one of my mentors teaching me that if you're always giving away stuff for free, it's worth exactly that. So it's worth nothing to people. And then I had to up my fees, and I saw that even my clients were doing a little bit more when they paid a little bit more for it, right? And so now they're really invested.
One of the things that I teach my mentees in my mentorship program, one of the first questions I ask them is, how much do you charge? And if they're under $100 a session, I'm like, get your shit up, like immediately, because you are hurting the industry by charging a low value, right? Like we have all been underbid by the $30 an hour trainer at one point, right? Yes. And then people don't quite know how to gauge the market properly. If we're all charging appropriately and appropriately pricing this craft, because this is a craft that's, we've talked about this before. It comes from if you do it right, like if you do it right, you're exhausted at the end of the day. Like, there's nothing left in the tank at the end of the day with me. If I have 3 behavior sessions a day, I'm done. I'm like, man. But nobody should be charging like less. Like people need to be charging it so that way everyone can win more. Don't underplay the market. Because we're allowed to make money. And I really think that what a lot of trainers get wrong is this bohemian lifestyle of laying on the couch and saving dogs and not being allowed to make money. And I can tell you where it comes from. It's 75% of social media dog trainers don't have a full-time business, and they present it as such, right? So if you look at that, you really start to see, man, like you don't have a real grasp of what the market needs. And that's where I think we get force-free indoctrination and force-free ideology becoming an accessible formula to these people, because they're not solely reliant on dog training as a source of income on top of it, right? Yeah. So they're able to buy into a methodology and an ideology, which can fail a lot of the time. I mean, it's facts, but at the end of the day, you look at it and go, you don't know what the market needs, and you're hurting my profession by coming in and undercharging,
Yeah. Well, and in evolving too, like, and that's what I like about this Canine Conference is that it is a virtual, but it's not going to be the Zoom session, like you said,
Correct.
but we're going to be evolving just like we spend more time on the internet and we gain more value. And just like you and I are doing this right now, this live stream on the internet and hoping to reach as many people as possible. We got some people trickling in. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that share button and share this out so people can join and watch and ask questions about the conference. I just put a link up to the conference in the comments section, you guys. The Canine Conference simpletix.com is in the comments, and so make sure to click on that. There is a limited number of seats available for this conference. There will be a after play, right? You can play this after the conference
for 3 months. It'll be fully accessible for 3 months, and during the conference the live experience is going to be really neat because we're going to have leaderboards for engagement, and there'll be like giveaways happening during the conference for people who are engaged with the speakers. I mean, we're getting this built out to be an interactive monolith. Like I'm just so excited about it. Because I think that one of the things that we tend to do a lot of the time is that we tend to take the fun out of it. And I love having fun, man. And there's no better environment or place to learn than somewhere where you can have fun. And we're going to provide that for 2 weekends consecutively. And if you can't be there during that time, you have the replay access for 3 months afterwards. So for anybody who is struggling, and this is just like the truth, we've priced it at $289. It's a very modest price point already. But let's say you're a trainer and you want to come learn and you don't have that money right now, shoot me a DM. I'll help you. Shoot me a DM. This is it. I really want this to be like a thing where we all come together in unity, because there are even presenters at the conference who are presenting who have beef with one another, who put that shit aside for the conference, which is super cool of these people, man. Like it takes a lot, you know?
Well, and at the end of the day, the beef with people is going to happen.
Always.
But as I said earlier, as long as we keep in mind the reason why we're doing this, and actually that's where I think I'm going to be. My presentation is going to be remember the why.
I love that.
Remember the why you're doing this, because then you avoid burnout. You structure yourself accordingly. You network. I always tell people your network is your net worth.
Absolutely.
Right. And so remember the why. Remember why you're doing this. Take and also structure your life. And I remember your post that you made, man, that I couldn't agree with more, because I don't have a huge facility.
Mm-hmm.
I keep things small, and I keep things small very intentionally, dude. And
bro.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
Quality control, baby. So it's like quality control, keeping it simple, and getting like my team kicks ass. Like, I love my trainers. Like, I love my team so much because I've put so much time into training these trainers. Like, so much time. And like, they have to go through my mentorship program for 6 months. They don't even touch a leash for 6 months. Like, I really make sure that they're quality trainers. And that means that I'm investing time into these people, right? And like, keeping it small, doing in-person sessions. I do board and trains, but I prefer to do in-person sessions with clients and having them be a part of the process. In particular with behavior mod, man. Like, I don't take a lot of aggression into my house anymore. I just don't want to, first off, but like, and second off, I found that if I bridge the owner's rapport and relationship with the dog and leverage it in the right protocol, you get way better results long term than you having to win the dog over in the board and train format. Because I know you deal with serious dogs too, and you know they're serious dogs are serious dogs, especially like in your home. And I think there are a lot of people in the industry, and this isn't like to jerk my dick or like to degrade anybody else, but I think there are some people who think they take serious dogs. You don't take serious dogs. Like we have dogs that sometimes we have to develop a lot of hunger, you know, for things to really start to click. Like, there are so, it's just, there's a lot of shit that goes into it. And if we can avoid that initial having to quote unquote break the dog, I don't break the dog, but breaking through the barrier, breaking through that first wall, if we can skip that and have the owner be that person that we can teach, to me, that's been the key. And by having shifted my focus to that type of format, what's happened is I've fallen in love with people. Yeah. Like, dude, like I love people. And that's one of those things now where it's like, dude, I love people and I love dog people. Like it's incredible. Like I get to work with people who love their dogs so much. That's why I don't understand client shaming, man. Like I don't get it. Like I don't get when people are like, well, they're not following through. Well, it's like, no, you're not teaching right. Like that you're not getting your client to buy in. And everybody who's on this conference, they can get their clients to buy in because I've seen your guys' results. Yeah, that's what's.
You have to love people to do this, man. Bro, like you have to. And that's one of the things is like with these reactive dogs or with these severe behavior modification cases, I tell people it's like drug rehab, dude. If we put the dog back in the exact environment, just like if you had a cocaine addict and you brought him back right to the same place with the same friends, same schedule, everything, it's gonna relapse, and we're setting them up for failure. And Absolutely. So if I do choose to take a board and train, I like to do it scattered, where I'll take the dog and for an initial period, and then I send him home, and then I take him back. That's and then cool. I send him home. But then what I commented yesterday, you were live with Larry, and one of my true beliefs is that a great teacher needs to become progressively unnecessary. The clients need to learn how to succeed on their 100. Own.
And so to even expand off that, and I love that you just said, dude, that makes me so like a great teacher can teach their client how to not have to teach their dog all the time, so the dog just knows, right? So many like. So, and I have to credit Danny Wells, who's one of my mentors, to this mindset that I've achieved, or like not achieved, but gotten to now, which is I love training dogs and I love training people. But at the end of the day, us pet dog trainers, what do people want? A dog that needs minimal interference from an operant standpoint, right? Yeah. Like they want a dog that's able to be that has prefrontal cortex activation, that can emotionally regulate, and at the same time, like doesn't need a lot of operant interference. They just know. So we get this symbiotic, like synergistic lifestyle with the dogs. That's what people want. And I think pet dog trainers miss the mark on that a lot. And that's that people don't want to consistently be training their dog. But that involves changing their lifestyle to match the dog and the dog to match them. And then the operant interference of having to say yes or no basically becomes obsolete because the dog is just doing what it does with its owner to create that really great lifestyle. Like not every dog owner, like pet dog owner, wants to be a dog trainer. In fact, most of them don't have the talent to do so. In fact, in particular in sport, I mean, really think about it. How many sport dog trainers? You have to be so talented with that stuff to really be like this like exquisite, incredible handler. And most people don't have that.
And they want to be dedicated. Those sport dog people, man, they drive 3-4 hours every weekend sometimes to go to the field. And people, I tell, like as pet dog trainers, they just want a cool dog, man.
That's it. Yeah. Like I'll tell you this much, man. Like if it comes to like reactivity and stuff, like, yeah, I'll teach a dog to walk nicely on the leash, but my clients could give a fuck less about a fucking focus heel. Like they want their dog to not react on the leash, like first and foremost, and that comes from addressing emotion, but like it's really far more simple than the pet dog training world makes it for ourselves. We can learn a lot from sport, but I think that sport can also learn from pet. And I will I will stand by that statement. And I know that that's a hot take, but I think that a lot of sport dog trainers could really benefit from watching some pet dog trainers go, in particular when it comes to the emotional systems and the activation of those systems.
Yeah, I think a lot of sport dog trainers kind of dismiss the pet dog trainers because they think they're on a different level, right? They think that they're, and I mean,
Yeah.
I love my sport dog people, and
Me too.
And we need to remember as pet dog trainers, another crucial point of this is not just addressing the emotional issues within the dog, but also addressing the emotional issues within the human.
Bro.
And don't forget to celebrate your victories, man. Like
there is no big victory, there is no small victory, baby. There's just wins. Like that's it. Like we just win. And so just to go off that, so Dr. Sabrina Cohen-Hatton, who's a presenter at the conference, she taught me something amazing about chemo signals, which is that like the way that you feel, your dog can smell, which becomes a variable in reactivity. Like the way you smell, like the olfactory nerve becomes activated, or like all those things become variances which tie into that reactivity. So one of the first things that I do now, and we talked about mistakes made the last time that we spoke on the podcast, but I used to go and like condition a prong and then bring a dog in, and if we're talking dog to dog reactivity, right, I'd condition a prong, then bring a dog in and start there. Now I start tool free, and we start with some nose work, some games, just to get the owner some wins, to get the owner to look forward to working with the dog on a cerebral level, on a level that the owner goes, I can't wait for Jonas to come today. Because here's the thing, from a cognitive standpoint, right? If I'm the first trainer that can get this person some wins with their dog, even if it's non-reactivity based, and I'm the first trainer to come in and go, you're doing a great fucking job, they're going to buy in more long term because I'm getting them wins right off the bat. And that's just a simple play on building your own association to be a positive emotional one with the owner.
Yeah, amen. And not only that, but just letting them know and reassuring and just taking time to affirm what the owner's going through too. Like, and I'll tell them like, look, this is a serious case. Like, this is no joke. Like I am happy you called me, but first let me take a second to tell you that like I work with a lot of dogs, and you have a high maintenance case here. So with that being known, and to affirm what you're going through, let's get to work. Let's start helping you get some of these wins. But first and foremost, I want you to know that, if other trainers have dismissed you or whatever, I'm sorry about that, because this is something that is going to require some work, but I'm here for you. And I just want you to know that I want to congratulate you for reaching out to me and having, the fortitude to ask for help and laying down our egos, and I will help you, but I owe you the truth. And that's, but let's get some wins here. Let's start small. And then when we're ready, I compare it to the Seahawks. I'm up here in Seattle, right? So go Hawks. And I'm like, you see those Seahawks on game day, and that's what everybody sees, but they don't see all the lifestyle changes that they've made to get to that point of being a high performance athlete. They don't see all the days of practices. They don't see all the injuries that they've had, really, really, pushing themselves. And so, I'm kind of the coach on the back end to help you get to that game day, which is that walk without the reactivity, which is, the tools that I'm going to help you realize, practice, and start to achieve the goals that you've set forward with this relationship of having a cool dog.
Totally. And that shows, so like just hearing that from you, it shows me that you work nuance, right? Like, dude, that's why I'm so anti-system, right? Like I'm so anti like buying into like systems and you do things this way and that way, because there's so many different variables in environments. Like dogs that live in apartment complexes that are reactive is a pain in the ass, right? Like apartment complexes are a pain in the ass. But like you look at it, and then you wouldn't train a dog that's in an apartment complex the same way that you're going to train a dog out in rural Texas, because it's two completely different contexts. So if it comes to a systematic indoctrination in regards to the application of your craft, I think that it's really counterproductive a lot of the time. But that's why, like, I do offer a mentorship program, but it's very reasonably priced. And we do 6 months. We do 6 months virtually, 3 months on, 1 month off, 3 months on. And what we do is we do a lot of basics, like the foundations that are just completely forgotten. And what I try to teach my mentees is concepts versus protocols. So that way they can formulate their own protocols through understanding, the basics of cognition and canine cognition in particular, because I think that that's something that's missing in the dog training world, is an understanding is even of the basic functions of the central nervous system. And I'm by no means a neuroscientist, I just know the basic functions. And ever since I learned those, it's really changed the way that I train, and it's allowed me to almost break out of classical and operant conditioning shackles, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, you work with a brain versus a theory, versus like, Skinner or Pavlov. You work with what's in front of you from a physiological perspective, and how you can manipulate behavior from a neurotransmission perspective. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I agree. And dude, we are going to do a Patreon, you and I, where we get into the nuances of this. Like, that's what we're going to talk about on our Patreon after the conference and everything. We'll do one of these.
I'm by no means a neuroscientist, just so everybody, or like there are people that know this shit a lot better than me, but I'd love to share what I know, and what my mentees learned, because my body of work now isn't just what I'm able to produce, but what I'm able to get my trainers who have mentored under me to produce also, which is a way to replicate the results that I get, which is super cool. But it's all done through critical thinking, right? So I kind of reteach trainers how to critically think. So because everybody else is always looking for the golden ticket, right? Well, the golden ticket is being smart, and the golden ticket is being creative and experiencing failure and success. And at the end of the day, none of us know what the fuck we're really doing. We're taking our best educated guess based on the experience of what's happened and worked in the past.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have an eclectic knowledge base and to learn.
Nailed it.
And not just figure out, oh, I got this system, I know it all. It's like, dude, that means that you're dead in the water waiting for the dog that's going to come bite you in the ass, literally, to show you all the holes in your program where this system doesn't work. And that's where it took me, like, as a purely positive when I first started. And it was like, dude, this shouldn't be like this. This should work. It's not working. And that's why I reached out and started learning from many different people. And I still learn, dude. Consummate learners, even though we do, we have our mentors. But dude, I'm learning always. I'll be watching this Canine Conference and learning as I do with these live streams, man. It's like there's no finish line here.
Dude, there's so much knowledge there. I mean, we even have a certified canine nutritionist coming on talking about, budget-friendly ways to add fresh food to your dog's kibble in a non-judgmental format. Like, we have, like, for $289, you get to listen to a certified canine nutritionist talk for an hour. That's worth it in itself. That consultation alone is just unreal. But back to like what you were saying, it's like, system this, system that, and it's like, we have a debate in balanced dog training right now, which is like the unconditioned versus the conditioned e-collar, and it's like, I use both of those things, and it's okay. There's a time and a place for an unconditioned e-collar, and then there's a time and a place for a conditioned e-collar. We don't have to be so like, my system is the way to go. No, shut up. It's not. Like, you can't you can't systematically break down dog training into a if this then this, if this then this. You have to be able to pivot in the moment, and that's based on the client's reaction too, right? Like, it's not just the dog. You have to read your client properly. Like, you have to read the dog owners properly. If you can't read the dog owners properly, like, don't push them into a point of like complete exhaustion where they start showing survivalist behaviors because they're freaking out. I mean, how many times has a client cried with you? Clients,
I cry with them too, dude.
same. And sometimes, man, I got this client right now, like, no joke. Their last dog was behaviorally euthanized because it attacked a dog, right? For like the second time or like whatever. And now they have another reactive pit bull. And every time this dog reacts, it triggers both of them to like a PTSD response, because it reminds them of their former dog and the loss of that dog. So we're working through this like slowly. I mean, I'm talking, we got my dogs 100 yards away, and we just start to approach the dog slowly. And then when my clients start to get nervous, I have them, self-evaluate and go, okay, we're trying to breach their threshold, trying to build their threshold, and seeing what they're able to take in the training process. Because I think we as trainers and as an industry, sometimes we lack empathy for the human a lot of the time.
Well, and I'm not a huge evangelist, but those are the times that I do evangelize, and I talk about Jesus, and I talk about forgiveness. And I say that Jesus preached forgiveness.
Totally.
And I said, I think that it's time for you to forgive yourself.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And let's move forward here. Let's not hold on to those regrets. And we have so many forks in life, or something happens either traumatic to us or to a loved one, and we have two doors that we can choose, man. We can choose the resentment, or we can choose the forgiveness. And I think that those are very big pinnacles in our life. And I have practiced it myself. And so I know, based on my own experience, that forgiveness is the way to
totally
fulfillment, to allowing grace into your heart, to live a life that you can truly be happy. And just like we were saying, and I want to go through the lineup of people here too, but as you were saying with Doc, who was it, Doc Sab, Dr. Sab, that the dogs can tell when we're uptight. And so when we can let that stuff go and we can truly be calm and okay with our environment and ourselves, the dogs, it's going to reflect what the behavior of that animal is also. So I wanted to show too, like I want to see, here's the first day lineup, okay, of who we have. So first and foremost, we got my man Jonas. So you're going to do like a little intro. No, really quick, dude. So 4 days. 2 weekends.
2 weekends. Right? Yep.
So the first day, when is it? When is day one? When does this conference start?
The 7th.
So 7th.
This Saturday. And the welcome to the Canine Conference is going to talk about the conceptualization of this conference and me honoring all the trainers, but also able to include a tribute to gun dog legend Christopher Upton, who passed away this year. God rest his soul.
God bless him.
I actually, when I was at the bar drinking, I was mourning Chris, and he stood up for me. He was the first person other than Danny Wells to ever stand up for me online. And, he was a bare knuckle boxer, a fighter at one point. Like, he was one of the original bad boys over there, and just have a lot of love for him. And he left the void in the industry that can never be filled. And we will be paying tribute to him in the opening hour, because this is something that he would have been all about.
Yeah, and he would have been a presenter, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I've done some live streams with Chris, and you guys check him out. I think I've done 3 of them, and he was a dear friend, and he's helped me with my Patreon page, and just helped me with whatever I needed help with, man. And when I found out that he passed, I was heartbroken, and I know that he was dealing with some health issues because we were talking about that. And so, yes, God bless Chris, and I'm honored to have his memory be present here with us during this conference.
One of the last things he posted on his YouTube, I'm going to play on Saturday, and it's him talking about it's so like eerie, like how people sometimes, I think, just know, or like subconsciously just know that God's calling them home. And like here, like you like, I'll play it on Saturday, but it's like his, like, there's this weird, like, ominous, like, this is my last will and testament, like energy to it. And it's just typical wise Chris, right? We all know Chris, the jokester and the prankster, and one of the most healthy senses of humor I've ever heard in my entire life. One of the most humble people I've ever met, considering how accomplished he was in Gundog. I mean, unreal, right? Like, the dude, he was just a master at his craft. And it's he would have appreciated this. And I'm sad that we didn't get to have him present at the first one, but he'll be there in spirit, and I'll make sure that his presence, or that his contributions to the dog training world are acknowledged at this conference.
Yeah, love you, Chris. So we have Piper is coming up next, doing a service dog.
She's one of my mentees. She's absolutely incredible.
Okay. And then this is the first day, Be More, puppy blueprinting.
Also one of my mentees and the event organizer. And what B does is she travels around the country in a bus, and she does like a really cool puppy program where she takes the puppy on the bus and like exposes the puppy to like all kinds of different environments, like in nature, and builds confidence that way. It's such a cool and unique program. And like, I've always admired that because you're getting the dog exposed to so many different things at a young age. It's super cool. Like, she doesn't even worry about obedience in the beginning. It's all building the dog's confidence. She's really good at what she does.
I think I got a delivery or something that's happening here. My dogs are going crazy, but like I've said before, if you can't deal with barking dogs, and
that's it. Yeah, for sure.
You know, let's see here. We also have Danny Wells, who you were speaking about, and Dr. Sabs.
Yeah, Danny being one of the, in my opinion. So my favorite dog trainer of all time is Danny Wells, because I think he's the most complete dog trainer in the world. And then Dr. Sabrina Cohen-Hatton, she's a genius. She used to live on the streets in England, and now she does consulting for the royal family. She's a published author, and this is about their book, What Your Dog Is Thinking, and they'll be doing an open panel Q&A, and they really go into the emotional systems and the neuroscience of stuff, and how those concepts can become practical application within dog training for the average dog owner. And they're both just brilliant human beings. Just brilliant.
Love it. Alligator Mom, who was on the live stream with you last night with Larry.
Man, another one. I'm just a fan. I'm such a fan of Kay because I was one of the day one adopters of Kay. Like, I was like, she's going places, man. Like, she gives no shits, and she doesn't. And she's just really talented and passionate and beautiful inside and out. And the way that she goes about things is just absolutely incredible.
Okay. And then we got Mahogany, one of my favorite people ever as well, dude. She's on a live stream with her. She's amazing.
Dude, that's why she's highlighted, right? Like that's why I'm so proud, because I'm such a believer in Mahogany. Like, I believe in this woman like so much. That's why she's the featured speaker of the conference. And I'm so proud, and like, I'm not like a woke guy or like whatever, but like, let me just say that I'm so proud that we have the first conference that is featuring a P woman in the forefront and the spotlight, and it's a balanced dog training conference on top. Like, it makes me so happy at like that this is the way it is, and it's not like this is some DEI for like whatever. No, like, she's that good. Like, she is that damn good. Like, I'm so excited to learn from her. As you can tell, I'm a total fanboy for her, and she's also one of the coolest people I've ever spoken to on the phone. Like, she's wicked smart, man.
Well, she's genuine. She was EMT. Yeah. She worked in trauma cases, which you definitely have to keep your wits about you at all times with that. And she's an accomplished businesswoman too, man. And she's got legitimate great ideas of building a business, and you know, I used to do dog walks just like she did, so we have a lot of things in common. And it was just a true honor and pleasure to speak with her on my live stream. If you guys haven't watched it, check out the live stream I did with Mahogany, especially if you want a little precursor of the featured speaker that you'll be seeing at the conference. And keep in mind too, all these times are central times, right? So you see 4:15, Jackie is coming up after Mahogany at 6 p.m. So that's going to be 4 p.m. my time Pacific. I'm in Seattle. And then we got Mariano, who is the master of ceremonies from the Dog Trainers podcast, right?
Yeah, and Jackie, right? Like, I mean, we all know, like we all know Jackie by now. Jackie is one of the most intelligent people in the dog training world. Like, if there are very few people that I wouldn't debate, honestly. She's one of them. Like, I would be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pass on debating Jackie. She's brilliant, and her knowledge of studies and things of that nature. I mean, she can pull that shit up out of nowhere. And she, you know, we had some pushback on her topic, right? Like, people were like, well, that doesn't seem very professional. And it's like, actually, it's super professional. She's clearing up a lot of the like BS that this guy spews, like, and he's the biggest platform on the internet. I think it's super professional. I like a little controversy anyway, so whenever she approached me with the topic, she went, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "It's me." Like, yeah, fire ahead, like full steam ahead.
Well, and know that this is kind of you invite the people, but just like at the music festival, we're bringing in our own, like, what do they call that when you have the list of songs that you sing?
Set list.
We're bringing our set list, man, and that's basically it. That's her set list. That's what she chooses to speak on, and so let's do it, because as we were saying earlier about the social media, there's a lot of misconceptions in social media by people that tell you what you want to hear, not what you should hear.
That's it.
And that don't have, how do I say this? Like with concerning Zach George, like I know that there's so many things that he's not correct about, or so many misunderstandings about the concepts that we lay forward, or how we utilize correction, how we utilize aversives, how we utilize the e-collar, different tools in the toolbox, and that's it, man. I think that we can come together in harmony, but we also, and not only that, but he has no problem bashing other trainers himself,
trying to cancel them.
Try to cancel them. And it's not, I don't think Jackie's going to be necessarily bashing him, but just kind of pulling out what he says and pointing out the fallacies within his philosophy.
His name probably won't even be mentioned, right? So or like if it is, it'll be very scarce. But like what it is, it's these are the concepts that are being preached, and he's kind of the figurehead of the purely positive, force-free online movement. Like he's the one who does all the stuff, and quite frankly, I think a lot of people from the force-free side would really benefit to see a deaf dog get counter-conditioned with an e-collar where the tactile stimulation isn't noxious. It's one of those things where, like, I actually have that on my Instagram. It's a Rottweiler who's people aggressive being counter-conditioned to want to receive food. So we see the trigger, we interrupt with the e-collar, and then we get food instead, because we have to condition that properly, obviously. But the applications and the different variances of an e-collar are incredible. And the fact that people just think that shock is shock, and it's like, dude, like, yeah, I definitely believe in high level aversion for livestock avoidance, no doubt about it. Like I do a lot of that in Texas, man. I'll light a dog up to save its life if it's chasing these longhorns. We're not doing it, like, period. But I'm not lighting a fearful reactive dog up. Like I'm like most likely won't, and never say never, right? But like at the end of the day, especially with these deaf dogs, man, you can see these tools be used completely differently. And I think Jackie will address some of those points that he makes. And I think it's really necessary. And the battle that she's undertaken, she had a great interview with Ivan, but like the battles that she's undertaken is huge. It's super huge. And let me just say that her most viral video on TikTok was using one of my sounds. Just throwing that out there.
Well, and these are essential tools and open up a line of communication. I compare it to the iPhone. Totally. It's like I don't need this iPhone, but I sure as hell love the freedom and the capabilities that it can give me. I'm actually texting with a client right now as I'm talking with you about a collar that I just shipped her. And so it's basically, just when we close the door on certain tools, we really limit ourselves on the capabilities. And not only that, but that's where I say, I think he just has a misconception on how we use this stuff. And literally I've seen e-collars save dogs' lives, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, like this guy talks about, and like, or not just this guy, but people will talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect all day long in dog training, and they'll never even look at somebody use a tool in a gentler or a proper format, and then they speak on tools. Like, no, you're a victim of the Dunning-Kruger effect, and like you think you know everything. And we talked about this last time. I was not a good trainer for a very long time, and then I met that dog. I thought I was great, right? I was like, I'm awesome. And then you meet the dog that humbles you, and then after that you go, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
And then you can start to work towards proficiency, right? right? Like,
Yes.
and that tends to be the way it goes. And it's the people who claim that they have all the answers that I watch out for in the dog training world, because like declarative statements of absolute fact tend to be a clear red flag of someone not knowing shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's when you really start learning. Once you reach that point of knowing everything, a dog shows you that you don't know shit. Yeah. Now we're cooking with fire, man. Now we're starting to learn. That's when, and then that's when the progression of knowledge starts to go back up. But just like I said, like I don't know it all, and there's no way that I would ever.
I'll never know it all.
Right. I'll never know it all, but any way that I can help others with what I have learned. And I call it borrowing scars. If somebody can borrow my scars, right, so they don't make the same mistakes that I have, then I've turned that shit into gold. Like I've turned those mistakes into something that is meaningful for others. And so we are making progress. But Dunning-Kruger effect, if you guys don't know what it is, it just means that you think you know it all at the beginning, and then essentially then you find out that you don't. And then if you don't quit, which a lot of people, once they find out that they don't know shit, they're like, I'm out, I'm doing something else.
That's it.
If you choose to stay the course, that's when we're really starting to learn. Okay.
My dad, he was he served in the Air Force. He was a helicopter mechanic, and he always said, man, like the lieutenants who would come out of, or the officers who would come out of like officer school, right? They would, like, he was a 20-year helicopter mechanic crew chief who ran phase and like had like the fastest phase time of all time, and then they come out of college or officer school and they're telling him what to do, and he's like, this is, and that's a prime example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Mm-hmm. When you, and it's, yeah, my dad's military stories are excellent, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys, I see questions, but I want to go through the lineup here of the conference. That's what the main focus is. And then after we do that, then I'm going to go to the comment section, and then we'll go through some of these questions. And so if I don't get to your question, don't worry, we will here eventually. Just keep on asking them, and then we'll go through those at the tail end of this podcast. So we've gone through day one, which is going to be this Saturday. If you guys haven't got your tickets, go ahead. It's linked up in my bio or in the comment section right here. It's the Canine Conference.simpletix.com, and $289. Seats are limited, and it is selling out. So check that out. And even if you can't make every single day, it's 4 days broken up with 2 weekends, starting this weekend, this December 7th, and then following weekend, the 14th, will be the last 2 days of the conference. If you can't make all days, then it's going to be available for 3 months. Absolutely. And so if you miss a day, then you can replay that day. But it's always good to be there, interactive, and just have that experience of being to the first inaugural Canine Conference.
Because we're doing it every year. Like every year, and that'll give the presenters a chance to move up in pay ranks also. So it's like I'm really stoked on that element, because it really gives me the chance to build a platform for trainers who come together at the end of the year to get a payday, like for Christmas and all those things, like in particular in a rougher economy right now. Like it's really neat because next year we'll be able, because it's going to be the shit. Like people who miss it are going to be really upset, because it's going to be really, really good. Next year, the demand will be greater and the payouts will be better for the presenters, which I'm so stoked about. Like changing that. That's huge for the dog training world. Go ahead. Sorry.
Love it. So we're going to go to day 2, dude. So this will be Sunday the 8th. Okay. And then here we go. We have our MC first day. And these are all Central Time, so 7 a.m. for Pacific. So this stuff is going to start a little early for a night owl like myself.
Same. That's why he's opening day 2, because I'm going to have tequila fumes coming out of my skins. So Mariano, he's one of the co-hosts of the Dog Trainers podcast, and he's one of the most charming and delightful individuals you'll ever speak to. He's also a really good dog trainer and a really strong people person.
Dude, we gotta do a simulcast. I would love to, if you're watching, Mariano, I'd love to have you on one of my live streams. And
he'll do it. He's great.
Yeah, and then we have Emily Ann.
Yes,
talking about terminology.
She's one of my mentees, and she's a younger trainer. She's in her early 20s, and she's out of Kansas City. She runs a company called Howdy Hound, and she's she's such a cerebral mastermind. Like, she's so smart. Like, she's just smart. And she's super charming, and like terminology and clarification of terminology is really important in the industry, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they say negative reinforcement.
Yeah, they think it's bad. Negative is bad. And
exactly.
It's not. That's not what it is, man.
No.
And it's important, even though our clients might not want to go to the depth of knowledge that we have as people that are passionate, that have traded our lives for this. It's good to have a grasp on what the hell you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And even go ahead.
In particular, to enter like collegiate like banter, because as soon as somebody that when somebody tries to sound really, really smart, and then all of a sudden like their word salad doesn't make sense anymore, you're like, fuck, okay, now I gotta listen to this shit.
Well, and it's hard, because then you lose me, man. Like I realize that you might be on that Dunning-Kruger curve waiting for the dog to bite you in the ass. You might be right here at the pinnacle waiting to.
I might stick around to see that at that point, because I love to see that moment of humility.
Yes. Well, and that's one of the. Well, I'll get to me when I get to me. But Ashley is talking about, this is huge, dude, because I see people setting up foster dogs for failure and teaching foster dogs bad habits, right? And so her topic is foster dogs and what it looks like to prepare them for a new home.
This one, she's also she teaches in my mentorship program. So I have different teachers in my mentorship program, because we kind of offer like a complete holistic aspect to dog training, and the mentees she teaches scent work in my mentorship program. So, and how we can apply scent work into an enriching format, into like behavioral work and stuff. It's really cool. She's super talented, and she predominantly deals with huskies. So like she's just unreal. She's super talented, and she has like the worst RBF, like the resting bitch face. Like,
okay, I was like, what's RBF?
Yeah, it's rest. But like, she's the nicest human being you'll ever meet. But like, man, like, I always tell this story because it's hilarious. On the first round of my mentorship program, she was there and her camera was on, and she was always looking all angry into it, and I was like, it's like, damn, man, like she hates me. Yeah, that's Ashley. She's one of my favorites.
Okay. And then Kylie is talking about continuing your education.
She owns Courteous Canine out of Canada, and is one of Canada's premier behavior modification specialists. Also one of my students, but really like has taken what I've taught her and made it her own. In my opinion, just my opinion, she should be up there with the best known in the industry. She's unreal at what she does. Unreal, and she owns Borbles. So
there you go.
I know.
Yeah. That's people that don't know what Borbles are. They are the South African Mastiffs that are humongous. So, dude, I've had some that are 200 pounds.
Bro, they're gnarly dogs.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that sometimes I've seen some pretty awesome women that are a half of these dog size, and the dog listens to them. It's not the size, but how you approach and the relationship that you build with some of these powerful breeds.
Absolutely.
We have Jamie Fincher. She's working safety details, managing clients and dogs. Another very important one. Breed specialization as well.
Are you familiar with Jamie at all?
I'm not sure.
She's from San Antonio. She's like a total dork, like total geek. Like she likes Star Wars a lot, and she's one of the nicest human beings that you can ever meet. And I hope this says a lot, but she's one of the only trainers in Texas that I will refer to. It's Jamie. Because she's able to handle severe behavioral cases in a very effective manner. And she's one of the presenters that I look the most forward to, because she is a wealth of knowledge, and because she is such a nerd about stuff, that she's like rabbit holed like crazy. And all of us who rabbit holed on stuff, we discover things that the other people haven't rabbit holed. Like, give me all the rabbit hole people and tell me what you know.
Yeah, but then we form little tunnels between our rabbit holes. I just added her on Facebook, so I was not aware of her.
Yeah,
but
she's
I just
cool, man.
and then my dude,
bro.
Jay Jack, man, he's the shit. I love you, Jay. You're one of my favorite people on the face of the planet, bro.
So I got to give it up to Jay over the last year. He has taught me. I always try to learn from a different trainer, like every year. And I did one consultation with Jay Jack, and I learned so much. It just from about GRC, the history of the American Pit Bull Terrier, all because I got a bulldog, and so now I was like, who do I speak to about this, because I've never raised one, right? So, and I was like, JJ, of course I'm going to talk to JJ. And JJ's system, the way that he thinks, the way that GRC is modeled, the way that his brain works, he taught me more in that hour and a half than I've learned in a very long time. And I can't wait for him to talk about windows, like the learning windows, because I can listen to JJ talk for forever. Again, I'm a fan of dog training. I'm a fan of JJ, and because I'm sure that he'll watch this, I just got to let you know, brother, like from homie to homie, I give credit where credit is due. My conversation with JJ completely changed the way I approach bully breeds.
Yeah, I hired Jay Jack when he was doing his conference in Vancouver, Washington. I had some clients here with a bully breed that was a little bit more reactive, and I hired him, and we got an Airbnb, and I learned a lot just from watching him hands on with this dog. And,
yeah, man, he's great.
And then,
like there's nobody better for the bully breed for bully breeds than Jay Jack. Like, just he's unreal.
He's half bully breed himself, I think, honestly.
Dude, he is. He's also like the nicest, most nurturing human being alive. Like, at the same time, he's a special man. Like, and I say that very like scarcely, but Jay Jack's a gift, and I think I'm just a fan. Such a fan.
I'm a fanboy too, and he's very eloquent, and he can speak, and I talked to him about that, about like, dude, you could just bash people's heads in, and he's like, we can always go there, but I've learned to stay out of that space, right? Because I mean, if we can always end up there, right? But my goal is to not go there, and I notice that with other special forces people that I know that are just genuinely badass individuals, right? That's
because they've been punched.
Well, yeah. Well, and they don't want to go there. They have a heart, and they're good at what they do, and they can hurt people, dude, pretty easily. Totally. And they want to stay out of that because it's not their goal to hurt people. It's their goal to build bridges and make harmony and understand, as well as be understood.
Absolutely.
We got pit bulls and addicts. What's that all about?
Big Mike, he runs it's called Freedom Home, a facility in Staten Island where he literally picks up like pity type dogs off this, like bully type dogs off the street, and houses the most severe behavioral dogs. And he's not a trainer, but he also has a lot of people in recovery with him, and his mission is top notch. I've been to his place. He's 6 foot fucking 1,000. He's one of the largest human beings. Like, I'm a big boy, dude. Like I'm 6'1", 220. And like, when you see pictures of me with like next to him, like I look like a dwarf, man. And like, he's just huge and jacked, and the nicest, caring person who's been through so much shit, and all he wants to do is help people and dogs now. And he used to be in construction, so everything at this Freedom Home, he's built with his hands. Like, he builds it. He just asks for bags of concrete, right? Like, hey, we need a couple bags of concrete. Can somebody give them to me, because I want to build these guys a waterfall, right? So these dogs have like a waterfall, like in this Freedom Home, or he hand makes them Thanksgiving dinner and preps them on plates. Like, it's cool stuff. Like, the dude's heart is so where it needs to be. He's just rad, and I really wanted to highlight his mission.
Love it. I can't wait, dude. Like, this is a freaking heavy hitter day, man. This is this Sunday, you guys. So if you haven't signed up, it's not too late. Get on the link in the comments. And then also real quick, I wanted to shout out Jay Jack. So I put up a link to GRC Dog Sports as well. Check out what he's doing there. I actually went to a GRC sporting practice up here in Washington State on Saturday. And then I had my little dude tugging away and he's like 11 pounds now, but it's awesome. For every dog, and but he also has a lot of holes that he addresses that we don't really know about in modern day obedience training with dogs. So GRC is awesome. So then we have our man Larry Crone. Who is that guy?
No clue. I have no idea who he is. I heard he puts ketchup on cheesesteaks, and
bro,
and that he's got really, so Larry and I have something really interesting in common, and it's that it's like the weirdest thing ever. Like, I have really soft, sensitive, ticklish feet, and so does Larry.
Bro, me too.
Dude, don't look, and dude, I don't have a callus on my foot. I'm 40 years old. There's not a callus on my foot. They just stay particularly soft, and it's weird, man. If somebody touches my foot, I will sweet chin music them, straight to hell. But Larry's awesome, anything Larry says, anytime Larry speaks, people need to listen because he's such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and dude, he's one of my best friends. He's a true good friend, man. I can't say enough good things about him.
Bro, I've never had an issue with Larry, ever. And
except for the cheesesteak shit.
Fuck that, dude. But we the way that him and I met originally was that I put my nose in business where it didn't belong, and I called out some idiot and him who had a conversation, and it didn't go very well, and I thought that they both looked stupid, so I called him out. This is the way Larry and I met, right? And this is just a testament to Larry's character. I was like, Larry, man, the industry needs you to be better, da 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 da. And you know what he said in the fucking comments? He goes,
what?
"You're right. Thank you for your honesty, pal." And then sends me a friend request. And we talked about this last night. I talked about it with Larry. That was a life-changing moment for me in the industry. That right there. Because I grew up fighting. I've always been so on the defensive about stuff. And what he did for my career at that moment, I can never repay him. Because it changed my entire perspective on being confrontational in the industry. Because that used to be my whole shtick, right? I was a big bad bully, punk ass dog trainer, right? But Larry helped change that whole perspective. It helped me shift my perspective, and the more so the way that Larry handles people, and the way that he's able to speak with people and connect with people, he influenced me a great deal. And I can't give it up enough to Larry Crone and the things that he has brought to our industry, and just the beautiful, just person that he is. I have a genuine admiration and love for Larry beyond dog training. And that's something that's really hard for me to say. I like Larry Crone more than I like Larry Crone, the dog trainer.
Yeah.
Because Larry is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
And Larry Crone, the dog trainer, is pretty damn good.
Yes, he is. But it I see a commonality through all these people, dude. It's starting to all make sense, but it's also, we're not just dog trainers, we're people as well. And that's the other side about this is
I picked everybody for a reason, and I think you're seeing it.
Cool.
I picked everybody for a reason.
And then we got the man, Robert Cabral. He's a freaking heavy hitter, dude.
Listen, man, a monolith of the industry, a juggernaut. And an absolute staple. He is the turkey at Thanksgiving. And let me tell you, I've ever since the Hogs for Hope stuff, Robert and I have become good friends. And the person that Robert Cabral is, he's one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Genuinely cool, and just man, he sent I'm wearing a Robert Cabral shirt right now. I'm legit. because of like the rescue work like that I do, and like all the stuff that like I've done, and just spoke with him, and with his dogs passing, I was there for him and made sure that he was okay. I checked in on him. He sent me one of his Bound Angels tags, and
let me put that on you. I'm going to put you on solo real quick so you can see.
Like not everybody gets one of these.
That's badass, dude.
And like I've looked up to Robert for years, and I think all of us have. And his rescue work, the things that he does, how ballsy he is, his perseverance in the industry, and just how he continues to learn also, and just how he's just out to help, man. Like anyone who knows, like, we'll be sitting there shutting the fuck up when Robert speaks.
Yeah.
Because it's Robert Cabral. And like, that's not to deify him, but man, if he's not a blessing, he is.
Yeah, and then we of course have Mariano as well. he's a common thread through everything. And absolutely. Dude, I've never met Robert. I want to. I've reached out to him, cool, and I will continue to do so. Hopefully, I do get to meet him in the future. But I'm looking forward to seeing him speak. And dude, when you asked me, and then I'm on the third day where I'm just honored to be in the same presence as all of these wonderful luminaries in the industry. And it's just
the third day is a dope day too. That second day is a super heavy hitter, and we put that together on purpose that way. But this one right here, so Mariano, obviously, yeah. That's Amanda Anderson. So she is a dog walking company owner in Staten Island, but here's the thing. She's an excellent dog trainer and carries these little bits. So she's this like tiny, tiny, tiny little person. And she goes and learns from everyone, man. Like everyone. It's like she shadowed me. She's just been all over the place. She's took my mentorship program, but she doesn't take anyone's shit as literal and as gospel, right? So she takes she takes all the stuff that she loves, leaves what she hates, and she has these like tricks. She's this little person, like a little elf, a little lesbian elf. She's awesome, man. Like she runs around, but she's got these little tricks up her sleeves, and she's funny, and she sounds like she's interrogating you because she's got like that long like that accent where you think you're being like interrogated by the mafia. But this is that one's a can't miss because she's hilarious and filled with knowledge.
I love it. It's I call it pearls. There's pearls of wisdom everywhere. And even if we go to, I would go to a Zach George conference, dude.
Me too, man.
There's pearls that I'm sure he has, bro. Like I'm not admonishing anybody because it's, we all have something to learn from each other. We all have something to teach each other. Even if I think 90% of it's bullshit, there's that 10% that I'm going to use someday.
Someone people have always got something, right? Like everyone's got something, and I want to know what their something is and why it works, and I want to take it and I want to use it, right? Like I want that someone something. Amanda has taken everyone something, and she's just a truly good person on top of it,
and put it in her set list for being a dog walker and a trainer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Norca Rodriguez.
Norca dog guru out of Florida, a very underrated trainer. She has a big platform on social media. I think she's got like 300,000 on TikTok, but she's just cool. Like she's got dreads, and she's just like hip hop, and she's super awesome, and just a very talented trainer. And I'm sure she'll be speaking about tool usage and proper education on those things. And that's, of course, we can't have enough of that, in particular for dog owners coming to see.
Yep. And then we have this guy, Bow Wow Bill Church.
We're going to church. We're going to church, baby. But I can't wait to see your presentation, man. Like, I think that you have such a wonderful potential, in particular, to connect with people. I think your talent, I think one of your talents is connecting with people. And I love that you lead, or that you're led by God, and God will take you the right way through this conference, and it's going to be sensational because you're here doing the Lord's work, baby. Like that's it.
Amen. And I'm going to be focusing around the why, right? And so just like we were talking about is why we do this, and people don't buy. That's what we need to realize too, is that people don't buy necessarily what you can provide with them, for them. They provide the why you do what you do.
Totally.
And it just simply proves what you believe, right? And so if you don't have a good why, you don't have power, and so that's what I'm focusing. And also when you have a good why, you avoid the burnout that is so prevalent in this industry as well. So we'll talk a little bit about how to avoid burnout, maybe sprinkle in some how to attract the right clients, stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to it, dude. Vinny Soma from Say It Once.
Big platform, baby. Millions and millions and millions. Like Vinny has turned into a business monolith. His reviews are incredible. He's a good trainer. He's a good dude, and he has a no filter. There's no filter on Vinny, and I love that about him. He's a good friend of mine. I'm really proud to put him here with these names because he deserves it. Like he's kind of like, and this, even though he has a big platform, but he's kind of been overlooked, and it's because he's a very business-driven trainer. Like, and so I've kind of had to take him and go, "You're doing this now. You're doing this with us now, and you're coming to where you need to be," because he really is such a wonderful advocate and such a good dude. Like, listen to his presentation. He's a big part of the social media world, but he's so much more than that. It's just like Larry always says, he's more than an e-collar, then he's more than social media.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, and for those that don't know, on my Patreon, oh my God, dogs are being goofballs in there. I got 4 dogs in the room, 3 dogs out there. Hey, yeah, go lay down, baby. And the people that don't know, I'll be doing my presentation like a practice run for my Patreon crowd exclusively. So if you guys are interested in that, there's the Friday before the 14th, Friday the 13th, I'll be doing my presentation and see what you guys think about that. So if you want to join, my Patreon link is in the comments as well. And thank you all who support me. Thank you. I from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all. We have Nino. Everybody knows Nino. He's got those dance videos. No, he's freaking flashy, dude. Like
he's a Backstreet Boy through and through. But I mean, but I'll tell you one thing, man. The man can train a dog, and the man knows how to flow. And what he does, what he does, not everybody can do. And it would what he say what you want about the red shoes and say what you want about the matching outfits, but I'll tell you, but I'll tell you this much, man. Nino's a good dude. Like him and I have had a lot of conversations. He's always been so supportive of me, and like my goal next year is to take some of his courses. Like I want to learn what the hell he does with his luring and how, like, I mean, it's he does have the prettiest heel in the industry. Like it's unreal. Like the heel that guy teaches. And like his luring is on point, and you know that guy has just like mastered the nuance of luring, and like it's just unreal the shit that he gets dogs to do. And I love watching his stuff. And I'm so excited like that he agreed to this, and so excited that we were able to make a time work, because he really is a I don't know how to put it. Like he's a whole genre of his own.
Yes, I agree.
He's a whole genre of his own. And let me be very, very candid on this. He's an underappreciated genre of his own in the dog training world, because he does get some backlash from like the sport dog guys and all this stuff. And it's like, no, shut the fuck up. Nino is really good at what he does, and his genre and what he brings, it's unique, it's creative, it's artistic, it's different, it's everything that the industry needs more of. And that's why I love Nino, because he's not afraid to be Nino. And I admire and respect that so much about him.
Yeah, he's not afraid and doesn't conform. He does his own thing, and this is an art and a science. And like I said, we all have something to learn from each other. And I would love to take one of his courses as well, man. I definitely have been watching him, and I would love to do a live stream with him and get to know him as well as on one of these. Good dude. Jamie, dude. Oh my gosh, man. This is a heavy hitter day too, you guys.
It is like Jamie. Let me tell you, the one thing that Jamie taught me was how to get involved politically into things and fight for dogs that way. Because Jamie is such a, and he's gonna hate that I'm spilling the beans. The amount that him and his wife put into the fight for dogs in the UK is unreal. I was so fortunate to be able to be a part of his team to get that e-collar ban overturned because we utilized my platform a lot and we really pushed through my platform. Beautiful. But I have fought alongside this man. I would ride into battle with Jamie, with him as the king. Like I would ride into battle with Jamie Penrith. He is character-wise and trainer-wise one of the best of us. And he is so articulate, charming, and just a really awesome human being. He has the biggest heart. Him and I have cried during conversations. We've always seen like eye to eye, and not as a yes men or in an echo chamber format, but in like a synergistic format. And I recently made a video that I'm abandoning the punk ass dog trainer platform. Like I don't want it anymore. And Jamie made a public video to me and said, I honor this because you're walking away from a 1 million person platform that no longer serves you. And he goes, and in private, he goes, that gimmick made people undervalue you. And in the video that he made public, he goes, you're brilliant. He's a brilliant guy. Watch him shine now. And I do have to, glory to God there. And after getting saved, for me, it was this moniker no longer serves me. And because nothing needs to serve me because I serve Jesus. Yeah. So I'm rebranding everything to Jonas Black next year.
Okay, so Jonas Black.
That punk ass dog trainer is dead.
We got Coach Carlos.
Coach Carlos. Carlos is one of my favorite trainers on social media. This dude works hard. Man. And he is all about community. He's all about community building and getting the right community around you. A few years ago, when I was the most viral dog trainer in the world, Carlos made a video and was like, I hope Jonas sees this. He's the most talked about dog trainer in the world. Da 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 da. And I shot him a voice note. And I was like, dude, like, thanks for this. Thanks for your belief in me. I believe in you because I watched his training. And I said, one day I will help you. I don't know how that is, but one day I will. And 3 years later, I figured it out. Like, I'm going to put Coach Carlos up on this conference because he's the nicest, most dedicated, most repped out dog trainer out. Like this dude works so hard. I don't know if there's anybody else who really works harder than Carlos.
Where's he at in the world?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I just see his social media.
And then we got this guy, Jonas Black.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know how this guy made it on there. I think he put up a post on social media and like I put up a post and I was like, is it tacky if I presented my own conference? And people were like, no, you should. It would be tacky. It would be tacky if you didn't. And what we're going to be doing is, I'm really excited about this topic because I normally do analogy stories for emotional responses or this, that, or the other if I have to present a lecture. But I'm going to be doing a case breakdown with the KMPV Roddy that we had who was lit up on an e-collar for car reactivity, and nothing made it better. So what we did was we used a certain low-level conditioning technique, which I will share, in order to get the dog to get easy wins around these triggers using e-collar, and then opening the dog's brain to be receptive to winning. And we got the dopamine flowing, and we were able to actually de-escalate all the way down into clicker counter conditioning. And we see the dog go from highly reactive to really not, all within you're talking 10 minutes. But basically I want to talk about bridging a tactile stimulation into a potential audible, and how you can bridge or how you can cue play with a tactile stimulation, which can then work into bridging an audible cue into of being receptive to food. So we're using play in the beginning, and then dialing down to food. So that way there's not so much adrenaline around the trigger. And you see this dog just calm down and become responsive from the dog was on a boss at an 80, right?
Yeah.
Getting lit up every time, to we were able to dial down to a 7 to a 7, and the dog was pulling off on a 7. And I'll document, like I have documentation of the whole thing. It's my first public case breakdown that I'm going to be doing. And I'm really excited about it because everybody's kind of known me as like a goofball and a party guy, which I am. But I'm really excited to show a skill set and really show my critical thinking approach to training dogs. So it's the first time I'm ever doing it like publicly, and like I'm halfway nervous about it because I have to like break down my walls of punk ass dog trainer. But I prayed on it, and this is the way to go. And it's I have mentees and I have all these things, and I'm very, very excited to show a more proficient skill set side of me.
I love it. It makes sense to me, keeping the dog below threshold of overwhelm, and then within that threshold, teaching them a different response instead of reaction.
Yeah.
Now we can actually think and respond, and then working to build them up from that level. Team floppy ears.
Oh boy, Chad, listen, I think that Chad is one of the most underrated trainers in the game. And like, man, Chad's goofy. We know he's goofy, but man, he's a proud American. He's got those American flags flying all the time. I love Chad to death. He's funny as shit. He doesn't give a fuck, and I love that about him. But that tends to make a lot of people stray away from him. But he's such a kind human being and a great father, and he's always been good to me. And him and I met through conflict, also, but crazy, like years ago. But Chad's one of the most loyal human beings, and one of the best trainers. Like, I would go shadow Chad. Truly, like, and learn from him. I am also honored because I'm probably one of the only people in the world that he would agree to do this with, because he did see the dark side of the dog training world and the dark side of the community when like a few years ago, they went after him for like using an e-collar or some shit like that. And so he's always been like, no, I'm gonna keep to myself now, thanks a lot, right?
Yeah.
But me neither. But I'm so proud of him for stepping out and coming out and closing day 3, because man, he deserves it. He really does, man. He's a super good trainer.
Well, and just to go to show you the lineup that's happening, we're still not all the way done. We're about 3/4 of the way done with this, you guys. So if you don't see the value, that less than $300,
it's unreal,
right? It's some of these people charge $300 for 1 hour. Now we have that level of talent all day long.
That's my road fee. Yep, $300 an hour.
Yeah, mine's well, I charge $1,000 a day. Up to $2,500 a day, depending on the time of year, and then, but that's also per diem. It's my room and board, flights, everything.
Absolutely.
That's not me.
Yep.
Everything else has been taken care of, so it's expensive, man. Like
totally,
way more than $289, dude.
Absolutely. And most of us are that way. Like the big platforms, like, you can probably get a FaceTime for that price with the big platforms. Like, you get all of them. like do this. Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, get your tickets.
Yep, get them today, you guys. Link in the comments here. Day 4. This is it, man. This is going to be the 15th of December, and not only that, but now we have the holidays. It's a good time to sit and before Christmas and to really to refresh that noodle. Get yourself some good information. And just like I tell people, there's a 3-part process whenever we're learning. There's a preparation for the learning, there's the experience of the event itself, and then the one that's, in my opinion, the most important is the processing afterwards. Totally. And so now we have some time to process and maybe put this stuff together. and maybe even apply some of the techniques or the things that you learn from this conference to your own life with your dog. So
that's why we wanted to give it a break instead of 4 consecutive days, because like just like in dog training, you know, quality over quantity. Like the quality rep is better than the amount of reps on like honestly. And this way you guys have 5 days to decompress, because that first weekend there's a lot of information that first weekend. It's an unreal lineup. This weekend will be a little lighter. The third day is the heaviest, but day 4 is going to be really neat and different.
Okay, so Mariano, we have opening the show again. Paul Mueller.
Paul Mueller, he is one of the top animal news reporters on the internet. So
no kidding.
Yeah,
awesome.
bro. Like he worked with me on Hogs for Hope and stuff like that. So he reports on cruelty, on amazing things, on things that are going wrong, that are going right. He's a very balanced journalist, and he does a service to animals all across our country. Like, it's amazing. His whole life is making sure that animals are protected, and he does it in a fair format.
Love it. And then we have JJ Sabrasi. I don't know how you say his last name.
I don't know how you say his last name, but he is a brother in Christ.
That's right, fellow believer, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love JJ. I love JJ to death. I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's going to be interesting. JJ's super smart, man.
One, I love that he doesn't shy away from sharing his experiences in church and how the Lord has affected his life. And I wish more people would do such, and I pray for that. But I appreciate JJ and what he does. We have Lori Wynn.
Lori Wynn is the owner and founder of Guardians of the Wolves, and she does a lot of ambassador wolf dog training.
Kidding.
Yeah, 250,000 following, just a gem of a human being.
Love it. And then we have Ashley Avis.
Ashley Avis, the director for the Disney live action Black Beauty. Yeah, dude, this is a heavy hitting day for those who know. She filmed and produced the documentary that's coming out on Hogs for Hope and our trip to DC. And she's currently working for Leonardo DiCaprio in writing, producing, and filming American Wolf, which is a story of a real wolf that actually happened. You guys look into it. She's an incredible human. She's a philanthropist, and she owns the Wild Beauty Foundation, which fights for wild horses.
Well, and then we have the Hogs for Hope, man. I mean, this is a Hollywood day, dude. This is amazing.
we're just going to do a quick panel. Kristen Combs, myself, and Kim Bean. They were part of the organizations that my fundraiser benefited, because we raised like $140,000 for wild canid conservation in Wyoming, and fighting for anti-animal cruelty laws, which I'm sitting on the panel for the SAW Act, the Snowmobiles Armed Weapons Act, which is being introduced into Congress here soon, and they'll be voting on it, which is incredible, and it should pass. It's a bipartisan effort, like I said, that needs to get done. I've kind of shook up wildlife advocacy a little bit, being a more conservative leaning American in a space that's predominantly dominated by progressives, and I was able to kind of really open up the door for other conservatives to come in and really I built a lot of bridges where people started to understand that animals are for everyone and not just vegans. That's just the truth. But Hogs for Hope, we'll be taking questions on what our experience was like in Daniel, Wyoming, because we really did, man. We surrounded that town. We had 100 coming in from the south and 100 coming in from the north, and we rode through. And those people were up in stock trailers. Like they walled off the whole town, like with stock trailers, and people were inside the trailers. And right before I led the charge to ride through, they sent me a picture of my daughter's school.
No kidding,
dude. Like it's a crazy story, man. It's just it was like real Wild West shit, man.
Looking forward to that. That's the last time we spoke, was right before you ventured out. So we talked about that, and then we have James Smith.
This man raises lions and wolves.
No,
he's a caretaker of lions and wolves, man. He's got like 600,000. No, I think he's got 1 million or close to 1 million on Instagram. He's a wildlife conservationist and advocate for wolves and lions, and one of the most primal human beings I've ever known in my entire life. He just lost his soul wolf, which is super, super sad. But James is he's a top-notch guy. He's one of those few people who, like, you can just see it, man. Like, he's an animal. Like, he is an animal. Like you look at it and you go, fuck, that guy is a lion. Okay. like
well, speaking of lions, we got Justin Rigney next.
The man.
Live stream with him as well. And
I love Justin. He's if there's one thing that Justin is, it's knowledge, man. Like, just through and through. I love his character. He just went through a lot of shit, right? He just went through a lot of shit, but man, I'm really excited about his presentation because he delivers concisely. Like in his information, it's very like bulleted and to the point. And he's so well spoken, and the fact that he is that well spoken and that good of a trainer, and he speaks openly about his learning disability and things like that. He's cool, man. I love Justin. Justin's
and
cool.
A fellow believer as well.
Absolutely.
Joel Silverman, dude. I was so excited when I saw that you have Joel Silverman, dude. Like, he's one of the most premier Hollywood trainers. If you guys don't know, I've done a live stream with Joel as well. Great friend. Great guy.
Okay, so like, I've been a Joel fan for so long, but I was afraid to hit him up, right? And like, Joel hit me up. So like I see this shit like pop up in my inbox, and I'm like, Joel? And he goes, hey man, just wanted to let you know that what you're doing is really cool. Like, he's not even asking to speak. He's just letting me know that what I'm doing is cool. And I'm like, holy shit, Joel Silverman, because he is one of the most successful Hollywood trainers ever. He's so good at what he does. And then I was like, dude, just ask. So like, I was like, do you want to speak? And he goes, I would love to. I believe in this. This is what we like. He got so excited, and like, he got super stoked. And I mean, like, he's the dude behind the Larry seminar. Like, he's a genius with this stuff. So like, the fact that like that he was like, yeah, man, I'll do it. He's just like, I was floored. We're gonna learn, like, pet dog trainers, everyone's gonna learn so much from Joel, because what he does again is a genre of its own, right? Like, he's unreal, super talented, and teaches things in an unconventional way. And you can definitely learn from Joel. And plus, he's just like one of the nicest dudes that's ever walked this earth.
Dude, I've done a seminar with him in 2010. So almost 15 years ago, right? And he was rocking it then, dude, doing stuff, back chaining, and he had a dog that would go and grab the mail, run out, put it in the mailbox, close the mailbox, and then flip up the flag. And I'm just like, yeah, this is incredible. And just how he taught it, and then he did it in reverse order, right? So we talked about back chaining, reverse back chaining.
Yeah.
And so like, he can get into some more advanced technique and like trick dog stuff, right? Because he does the Hollywood, spray bottles, stuff like that. Like Omar von Mueller, that might be another for next year. I'll love to put you in contact with him, but he's one of the best dog trainers, one of my mentors. Joel is one of my mentors as well.
Joel's the man.
He is the man. A great guy, nice guy.
And it's so nice to come on to this podcast with you in this stream, and to be able to talk about dog training and this wouldn't have happened if I didn't, get rid of the punk ass moniker, but like, to be able to like come in and talk about dog training as a fan, and like as a student, and just getting to like talk about these trainers who I think are really cool, makes me feel really good. I'm just, thank you, Lord, for putting me in these positions and for letting me do the work that you have set out for me, because this right here is just cool, man. I'm feeling like really good in my heart being able to like gas up these people.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, when you and I spoke for the first time, I'm like, dude, I fucking like this guy. Like,
it's weird.
I just knew you, and it was like, I wanted to speak to you, but then, some people, I love everybody, but there's just some people that I click that you gel with, so I'm thankful as well for, be chatting with you and to be able to talk about these people. But it's also like I was genuinely curious about why you selected me, why you selected the people that you did, and
it's because everybody that's on there is going to be watching everybody else. Totally. These people didn't get to be this good by not learning from other people. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to be just like it's going to be a huge like spongy event where everybody's just like absorbing and like.
I'm excited, dude.
It's like you get a bunch of people together who are ready to just like love on one another and have a really great like couple weekends together. It's what this industry should be. And to get to wrap up our year like this with a big showing of unity that's not system dependent or association dependent, but we're just a bunch of practitioners coming together having a great time.
Love it, dude. Wildlife twins.
These twins from Australia, these are the dingo girls. They do incredible things, and they're wildlife conservationists and they're advocates for the dingoes in Australia. They have a huge social media following. They're twins. They're the most adorable, cute, quirky girls ever. I really recommend you check them out and follow them because they're super educational. It's like you take Steve Irwin, like truly, you take Steve Irwin and you put him into like a two bubbly blonde twin format, and like Australians still like they're what they do for wildlife advocacy. They make it cool.
Dude, look at this.
Yeah, good day.
Good day. And just got
a capybara.
Capybara. I was like, what the hell is that? That looks like one of my skipper keys, but
I think that's a capybara. It might
don't
be
know.
Koala. Maybe koala. Is that or a wallaby? I don't fucking know.
It's a wallaby, dude. Something Australian. I know that.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird outback creature, but those two, they're a blast, and they're really, really smart, and they're so good at what they do. Like people need
wombat.
That's good. Wombat. We were way off, but the wildlife twins. It's a can't miss. They're fucking hilarious.
I can't wait, dude. And this is, keep in mind, dude, we're at 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. So you're doing a late night on the last night, huh?
Yeah.
Paula Ficcaro and Steve Watzel.
These guys, they're from Apex Protection Project, which is the beneficiary of the sponsorships. Dan Croft Canine from Canada. Dan's amazing. He's our sponsor right now. And these guys also do the Ambassador Wolf stuff, and they will be showing us. They're literally going to be introducing us to their wolves on this conference. Like they'll be showing us wolves and their personalities, and doing some wolf education and some ambassadorship for them. And we get to fucking like meet the wolves on camera. Like they'll be hanging out with their wolves. I'm sure Lion Dad will be hanging out with his animals. Like it's. Day 4 is for animal lovers, like canine lovers, like canid lovers. Like it's kind of like a hodgepodge thrown together, but I think it's going to be really fun. This is the sleeper day.
Yeah. Well, and if you guys are listening to this, if you've already gotten your tickets, let me know in the comments if you're going to be attending. I already know some of my people have bought tickets and going to be attending. Tristan Black.
That's my brother. He is the certified canine nutritionist. And for anybody who's like, he's a proponent of raw, but basically he understands that not everybody can afford it. So he goes to, or he's a proponent of fresh and raw. But basically what he does is he formulates budget friendly approaches to supplementing your dog's kibble.
Okay.
To get a good percentage of fresh food in there on a budget. This right here is. And I say this all the time. Like I say this all the time about Tristan. My dog, my older pit bull Lulu, she's got pancreatitis. She wasn't able to and she has a thyroid issue. She wasn't able to put on weight for years. And after he worked with her, or like our diet plan, we can't see her hip bones anymore. And she had dude, like he's a genius with this shit. Like and I speak as a client of his.
Cool. And I'm also his brother. That's
yeah, he's my adopted brother. I adopted him. So he actually here's our story. He came to me homelessly in New Hampshire wanting to shadow. And he had paid, and I said, "How did you get the shadow program?" Right? I judged, and he goes, "I spent my last $600 to shadow you for 2 days."
Huh.
And I said, "Okay." I was like, "You live in a van?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, I called my assistant, and I was like, "Give this dude his money back and get him an Airbnb now, right? Like please, like let's take care of this kid." I saw a lot of talent in him, like a lot of talent. So I just took him with me. So and now he works for me for my company here in Austin, K911. He's my lead trainer, and he's an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, and he just became a citizen. And he didn't have family here, so my family adopted him. So that's why he has my last name. We said, if you change it, because he changed his name, and I said, take my last name. You're my brother. And so he did. And today he got his ID, and he's a proud American citizen.
I love it, man. What a great story.
Super cool, right? Super cool.
Yeah. Look forward. Shout out to Tristan, and look forward to watching you work, man. Kim Capes.
Kim Capes. She owns In Harmony with Wolf Sanctuary in Florida. I just did a huge run for Florida for the Tampa relief. I raised $8,500. I loaded my truck up with food for humans and dogs, and I went down there, slept in my truck, and dropped off food for dogs and people at something called the Community Pet Project down there. And what they do is they help underprivileged people, or marginalized people or lower income people maintain their dogs, which is super cool, because I'll tell you this much: blessed are the poor, and the poor stayed with their dogs in Tampa. These people did not leave their RV parks or trailer parks when that hurricane hit, and they stayed with their dogs. And it was a privilege and an honor to drop food off to them. And we filled up an entire garage for a Community Pet Project, right? Awesome. And I also got to feed an entire neighborhood, that lower income area that the feds just abandoned and didn't worry about, because Tampa was back up and running. So I got to bring a lot of human food and made spaghetti dinners for the kids in the streets, and definitely doing my best to utilize my platform to serve the Lord and to do the Lord's work more so than anything else. And it was in that process, Kim hit me up, and she was like, "Would you like to come for a respite at In Harmony with Wolves?" And I said, "I get to come hang out with wolves?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm there. So I drove to Orlando, and they had hurricane damage. And I was able to, I had the funds left over, where I just gave my remaining funds to her to fix her wolf enclosure. And she's an incredible wolf advocate, and really knows what she's doing with these animals, man. And it's just unreal. Like, these wolves are special, man. Like, there's something special about these animals.
I love it, dude. I'm honored to be part of this, Jonas, and
it's cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm looking forward to doing this and watching it and learning from others, and just and being able to network. We should have maybe, if not now, but in the future, like a day after or before, where all of us can kind of hop on a Zoom together as presenters and just kind of network with each other too, because totally. I know that there's some joint ventures, there's some partnerships, there's some things that totally. It just makes sense for us to know each other as colleagues, but also people that are passionate about what we do.
You'll be as a speaker and as a presenter, you'll have access to speaker and presenters. You'll be able to DM. So there's a networking aspect to it for the presenters, which is very super cool. Yeah.
Well, and speaking about Tristan, you've reminded me, there is a supplement that I do recommend. And I don't know if you know Dr. Iyer, but Robbie Iyer.
No clue.
This is Atlas, dude, and it's activepower.com. And I've seen this. It won the 2024 Joint Health Product of the Year. So, and this is all natural stuff. He's an Ayurvedic. He's an MD. He has his own practice, canine joint muscle and total wellness support. And he also makes products for humans too. So this is
super cool.
Yeah, this is like the Tiger Balm. This is a roller that you roll on
Cool.
your shoulders, and then he also makes like an atlas for called Zeus for human beings, and my wife takes it, and it's changed her life. My wife has rheumatoid arthritis, and it's cut down the amount of prescriptions that she's had to take, painkillers and stuff. And I cannot recommend this stuff highly enough. All ages of dogs, you just take a little scoop of it. Larry talks about it all the time. All of his dogs are on
I'll actually pick some up because my boy, like my wolf dog, my low content wolf dog Wolfie, he's 10 now. He's starting to develop some joint issues in the hips. Like you can tell that it's starting, so I'll start throwing that in there.
Yeah, this is it, man. And just shout out, I don't know if I'll put you guys in touch, Doctor, and you, Jonas, and
that'd be awesome.
I'll put up a link. activepower.com is the link to his website. And then he also has some like a Tiger Balm for dogs as well. Here, let me just share real quick share this tab instead. So it's I love promoting him because this is a product that I use. And so we can shop humans, dogs, and horses, right? And so we'll go to the dog shop here. There is a little bit of an issue coming up with the new administration if there will be some tariffs on other countries because he sources his stuff. He's Indian himself, so he sources his stuff from India. And so the prices might have to go up, but there's also these the muscle kits that you can get for your dog. There's a little massager, and then these
That's so cool,
dude. It's rad. And I have one of these fanny packs here. But these are these little bands that you put around their leg. You actually put a little coin inside of it. So you open it up and then put coins in it, and then so it's not too heavy, but it's a little bit of
resistance,
little resistance, right? And you always want to be supervising your dogs. We're not just putting it on and letting them go forever. We supervise them and work them through just like we would do when we work out. But it's all patented and muscle building. And he's seen dogs with problems with their gaits get fixed by building these little muscles and tendons that might be contributing to the issue that we just don't know about.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll definitely pick some of this stuff up because Wolfie, he's a backyard bred. I inherited him from one of my exes. She picked him up in a Walmart parking lot out of a cardboard box, right? He's the best dog. We've been blessed to not have health issues for his whole life, in particular being, husky. But man, all my dogs are exactly 10. All of them, all three of them, and it's terrifying.
Well, dude, I want to talk about that real quick because you made this post in here. I want to show the human side real quick, but I want to put a pin in this because I want to talk about what you posted about earlier. And I thought that it was a great post. So here's the Zeus for the people, and then the eye rub that I have right here. These are people products. And the thing is that I like about this stuff, man, is wait till you get it, open it up and smell it.
Oh, it smells good.
It smells so good, dude. That's when I was like, oh, I love it already, man, because yep, it has cinnamon in it. It's all all natural products, and so I highly recommend it. You guys check it out. Atlas for your dogs, and a lot of my clients are on it. The dogs come to me. I see that they have that in their little care packages, and it makes me proud. So dogs getting older. You made a post today about one more. Tell me about that real quick.
Oh man. So this is like my mind sometimes goes to a dark place, and I was laying in bed in the morning, and we do morning cuddles. Like it's just like me and my Wolfie, we do morning cuddles in typical husky format or typical wolf dog format. I mean, this dog will sit this close to my face. Right? He's like this close to just staring, just like staring, right? Like, are you gonna? And like I love it. And then I invite him to lay down, and he will lay down in my arms, right? And yeah, exactly. And then, but what he ends up doing is he always ends up turning, and then he'll tuck his head down into like my breast, and he's done that since he was a puppy. Like and I'm tearing up, and I realized that one day I'll be holding him like this, and there won't be life in his body anymore. And I started sobbing. Look at that big wolf. Yeah. And I was like, whenever he goes, or if I have to put him down, my last goodbye to him will be me holding him like this, right? And in my head, I started to, there's something called pre-grieving, or like when you start to have anxiety about something that hasn't happened yet and you start to mourn.
Yeah.
And like I started like mourning his death, like in my bed as he's like alive in my arms. And in my head, I was like, I'll just want one more time, always. And I was like inspired. So I went and I made that reel and I said, from now on, if you're playing ball, because we'll all always want that one more time with our dogs. From now on, I'm going to throw that ball one more time after I don't want to do it anymore. I'm gonna cuddle him one more time. I'm gonna kiss him on the forehead one more time every single day, because I have less time with him ahead of me than I have behind me. And my time with him behind me is already filled with regret because of traveling, because none of us are perfect dog owners. It's already filled with regret. And so for me, it's like, man, like, how do I eat that? It's like kind of prepare myself for that mourning process, because they are 10. I've got, I hope 5 years left with them, right? Like, I hope if we get 5, like, please, Lord, give me 5, but thy will be done. It's fine. But like, give me whatever I deserve with them, or what you have in store. But that one more time, man, every single time I'm doing something they love, I'm going to do it one more time after I call it and say that it's done. I'm going to do this one more time every time. So that way I can say that the last few years of their lives, I did it one more time every time.
Yeah. Love it, dude. I mean, it's something that we have to struggle with, and it just sucks. It sucks, but I tell people it sucks, but it is worth it.
It's
because,
it's totally worth it. And I love my dog like, beyond dog training and all this stuff, I love my dogs so much. Like, I love my dogs so much. It's like unhealthy how much I love my dogs, and how attached I am to them. And I cannot see a life without them. I have a hard time envisioning that. And when they do go, I'm gonna need to be monitored for a little bit, because the things that they've been there through everything, man, through the joy, through the pain, through the laughter, through the crying, like, they're always there. And it's not even, it's just like that consistency of them. Like, it's like, damn, well, like, what the fuck would I do if they're gone? Like, holy shit, like what would I do? Like, get another dog? No, these guys can't be replaced. I ended up with 3 soul dogs at the same time. No joke. Like, all of them are so, and like, I say this from an unbiased perspective, right? Like, I got a pit bull this year, or like a bully mix, and he's an idiot. Like, like he's by no means what these guys are. He's a good boy. I like him, right? Like, yeah. but these 3, dude, it's just like, they've never been problematic. They're this like, they all cuddle in the bed in the morning. Like, we have this like perfect little routine and perfect little pack going on. Like, it can never ever, like, whoever comes in after them, I wish that dog, I actually have to probably maintain a single dog household, because I'll never be able to, I know how special my pack is. I'll never be able to build a pack like that again. Like, the pack dynamic is so special of these guys.
Yeah, that's my cedar. I have a red healer that I have a painted picture of him on the wall here, and that's my boy forever, dude. And there's just certain dogs. But what I wanted to say too, man, is that sometimes with this pre-mourning, we can get pretty deep with it. And I want to encourage people like love your dog when that happens, because guess what? There's plenty of time to mourn them when they're actually gone.
Totally.
Sometimes we get in the practice of mourning them when they're right here, dude. And so take that time anytime that we feel that. And that's why I was like, one more. This is Cedar right here. That's my dude.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That just looks like that's your dog, man. Like, like, you're both ginger. Like that. Like that just looks like your dude. Like, you can just, like you can just tell. It's always that face that he's got. You can just tell like that you guys are. He's in heaven being with you, and you're in heaven being
Dude,
with him.
I will miss him forever, man. 14. He died when he was 14, nasal cancer, and it was rough.
My family dog, our American Bulldog lab mix, her name was Raven. She died of nasal cancer, and that shit hits like that, doesn't it? Like it's
and blood everywhere in one nostril, and
dude.
And I knew, and I gave the vet $500, and I said, "Look, this is in case I need to call you at 3 a.m." And I did. I had to call because I had a conversation with him, and I said, "Dude, you tell me, and I will not falter." And I cried, dude. I remember just bawling my eyes out and walking around my field out here, just waiting for the vet to answer the phone because I knew it was time. He told me, and I walked down the field, and I was just like, but yeah, that was my point here. I don't want to get too into this because I will start crying, but it's there's plenty of time to mourn your dog when they're gone. When you start to get into the pre-mourning, do the one more time, one more pet, like just wake them up, love them up, man. Like do something because they're still here. And
like I've actually done that this week every single time, and it feels good. Like, like I'll walk away and then I'll just go, just one more time, let's go. And like, or like one more time, like forehead kiss, or one more time, shake. I know that a lot of people don't like to teach paw or like whatever. I teach shake to all my dogs. I don't care if you judge me. Like, like I think it's cute as shit.
I do high five, dude. I do shake, high five.
Yeah, man.
Hug.
Like my dogs don't demand paw me. Like, sorry if that's an unpopular take, but they don't. But yeah, I like when I have these moments of like really strong emotion. I feel like that it's good to put those out there because it went viral on TikTok. So like a lot of people deal with this, man. A lot of people love their dogs so much. Yeah. Do we have any questions before I take off?
Yeah, dude, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, let's get to the comments and then let's sign off. We've already been we're approaching 2 hours. I love you, dude, and I'm honored to know you, and this has been great, dude. Like I love this. So let's go to the comments. I'm going right back to the beginning.
I love you, brother, and I love talking to you. I truly do.
Cool. I can't wait to meet you, man, someday. Hello and thank you, Denise says. Derek Krause says, good evening.
Derek Krause.
Yep, it's his bread and butter. Amy says, hello for the third time. Hello from a different platform each time. Getting around. Enoch is one of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you very much. Work on everything. The problem starts to go away a bit on its own so many times. Yep, absolutely. Because we're working with the underlying relationship and the emotion.
Back end.
Back end, and
work the back end of the problem. And it I can't tell you how many times a dog that we start to get enriched through even like scent work or something like that stops reacting. Like it's just it works that way sometimes.
Yeah, give them something.
Not all the time, but sometimes it sure does.
Yep. What do we got here? Dylan. I still have Dylan's on my radar, dude. I've talked to him in person. I want to have him come on one of these live streams. And
he's one of my mentees.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
He's awesome. You should have him on. And he was in my seminar in North Carolina, and he saw me do the clicker work with, like, I do a lot of positive interruption and things like that with aggressive dogs. And he was just like, dude, this shit works. And I'm like, yes, it works. Not with all dogs, but it works with the right dogs, right?
Right.
Like,
that's an eclectic knowledge base of knowing, where we can pull back on to work on an individual case. Nutritionist can run 300 consultant alone, so 289 for the whole conference. Jonas, do you realize how you lean forward as an advocate of PTSD owners? You are so passionate for owners. I love this, but I've never been able to access online seminars. Okay.
Denise, if you need any help, if it's not accessible to you from a financial perspective, please shoot me a message and I will happily help you out.
Yeah, she wants to know if she can send you a message, so I'll pull that up. 18 Absolutely. Border Collies have gone deaf in old age. She loves e-collars.
100.
We were talking about the dogs that teach us every day. She has 4 dogs. I love those dogs.
I love, yeah. My dogs, I swear, they look at me sometimes and go, "What's up, dog boy?" Yeah, just talk shit. Yeah, for sure.
Gina's another one of my Patreon supporters. Thank you. Michael Bishop, what's up, gangsters? What's up, Michael?
Yeah, Mr. Bishop.
Ashley does amazing work with fosters, talking about
one of the
when we're going
speakers.
through the people. Yep. That's what I have. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Jonas, may I send you a message?
Absolutely. You're more than welcome to send me a message.
Okay. And then that's awesome. Joel's such a cool dude, talking about Joel Silverman. And then about the Atlas, he uses it. It smells so good. And that's it, bro.
Sweet.
That's it. So
Bill, thank you so much for giving me your energy and your space. And I love you. I can't wait to see your presentation, but I got to go make dinner.
Love you too, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait for the conference. And let's say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody.